Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2, your second match of the day for the G1 League group stages. Day 5 action coming your way. Flash Esports from Singapore facing off against Orange from Malaysia, with iceiceice standing in, of course, formerly, or I shouldn't say formerly, but most recently seen playing for Zenith, playing for 1v5, which is a couple of Zenith players and then 2 others. Either way, here we are in game 2, and game 1 was a thrashing. It was a beatdown. I don't really think there's any other way to put it. I love Flash Esports. They're one of my favorite up-and-coming teams, but they got worked in game 1, and it really came down to just wards. it's funny to say, but they ran a defensive tri-lane. They got their pull camp boarded off. They had their safe camp boarded off, so they couldn't pull the mid lane on the Radiant side either, and they never found the ward. It actually was never found. I'm honestly a little surprised that Flash or Orange didn't bother to reward, but they really didn't need to get it. This I like, though, and we'll talk about the draft in 1 second, just to update you on the standings. We are in Group B right now for today's action. Flash and Orange are neck and neck, sort of fighting to see if they're going to be in the middle of the pack, or if one of these teams can be at the same level of DK, who's at 3-1. So if Orange win this game, they'll be tied with DK for the lead in the group. If Flash win, then we have a 3-way tie for second place. And again, we still have matches to go. The group stage action is not complete, but this group very much under contention compared to the other groups.
5 seconds remaining.
I like what Flash has done, though. I like the fact that they've gotten the Bounty Hunter, they've got the Queen of Pain.
Reserve time.
Templar Assassin is difficult to deal with, and it doesn't help that it's either going to be Yamateh or Mushi playing it. Guessing it'll be Yamateh. It's more of a Yamateh hero, but certainly either of them can. But they have Bounty Hunter and they have Queen of Pain. 2 heroes are pretty strong at dealing with them. Track, one of the best ways to deal with TH. This allows you to escape, run away a little bit better. Keep your whole team moving quickly. Also giving you the vision so you can't hide inside meld when you're gankier. And then, of course, Queen of Pain having the blink. But this is classic Orange. So it's a Mushi Templar Assassin. It's a Yamateh Leshrac. We're going to see a Leshrac Sand King dual lane. This is something Orange was running a lot in the International 2 group stages. And even occasionally, I want to say at times during the main event. But I know they ran this very successfully in the group stages. They took down some pretty big names there, and did so in absolutely dominant fashion. They crushed Na'Vi in the groups. That was one of the big matches I remember, is Orange just absolutely manhandling them in the group stages. So let's see if the Leshrac Sand King combo is going to work. I really like this combo, and I feel it's going to make life tough for Flash, who they've picked heroes that are good at dealing with Templar Assassin. But what they haven't done is picked heroes that can really team fight effectively up against this many stuns and this amount of burst damage. So, what is Flash going to round out their lineup with? Do they go for... I was about to say. Damn it, Flash! You're stealing my thunder. Well, that should be our Actually, I don't know how they're going to run it. They've run Tidehunter solo mid before, and it wouldn't entirely shock me if they did, but as always, we expect the Bounty Hunter in the off lane, probably a Queen of Pain solo mid and a support Tide. Tide not really very good against TA, so that's one of the issues with running him solo mid. Expect to see Queen of Pain there, Tide in the safe lane, doing some pulling, doing some harassment. And then they need a farmer for that safe lane, and they need another support of some kind. For Orange, they know this, and they're going to start banning supports. They start with the Venomancer, and Tide Veno is a very powerful combo, especially when you have Bounty Hunter and Queen of Pain, who give you the movement speed and the slow. The overall ability to kite and chase is just incredible with that combo. This interests me. I would not have expected to see Orange pick up the Lycanthrope. But Flash are apparently a little bit concerned about it and will ban it out. After some quick first bans in the second stage, the teams are really biding their time. It's pretty clear that Flash needs supports. They definitely need a support, and they probably need a safe lane farmer. And this is what they're gonna ban one support, then they go back for the Chaos Knight. A pretty smart ban, because he gives them a frontline tank, which they sort of have in the Tidehunter, but he's not the best frontline tank unless he's getting a more farm. And in this game, he's probably going to be support. So I like banning out a hero like CK, who's a great initiator, who can pull Templar Assassin. or Leshrac into uncomfortable positions into places they don't want to be. I just wonder. I wonder why the twin-headed dragon hasn't been banned yet.
10
Honestly, either
seconds
team would love to get
remaining.
their hands on him, especially Flash. That gives you some amazing counter
5
initiation. It
seconds
gives you great
remaining.
laning support. I expect that'll be the final ban, but if it's not, Flash should really pick it
Reserve
up.
time.
Orange still haven't picked iceiceice this hero. Prophet is in the pool. That's probably where the direction they would want to go. There is a Broodmother, but when you already have Bounty Hunter on the enemy team and Tidehunter, not really the best choice. I doubt we would see one. An Enigma, so they
Orange's turn
apparently
to
they think
ban.
Orange is going to run a jungler. Lycan is really bad at jungling now. Navi have experimented with it and it works okay, but you have to pull a lot of regen to the Lycan, and you usually have to let him get a couple of pulls off early on, and it's just a big investment for the hero, especially when you have Bounty Hunter, who's probably
Dire
the best
team
offlaner to
ban.
deal with Lycan in the jungle. You can go into the jungle just with a single level in Windwalk and Janata and just keep on stealing his creeps. The wolves are very easy to kill because their base HP is so low now. And the magic resistance doesn't help you against the physical damage. So I really don't know why they're afraid of a Lycan. I think they'd be fine against it. But hey, they banned it out. And iceiceice, he's still got some options for him in the pool. The Prophet is the big one. I'm not sure. It's weird to see him playing this offlane because I'm so used to. I see iceiceice and I just think Invoker. I think Exhort Invoker, amazing Sunstrikes.
Orange's
But
turn
that's
to
not
pick.
that's not the way they're going. I assume this is going to be yamateh Leshrac. I assume it'll be a farmer. Now they could run a tri-lane. They could run a more aggressive lineup if they want to do it. But I don't really like that choice with Leshrac and Sankey. These are two of the most level dependent supports in the game if you run them as supports. Also, I should mention there's an Undying in the pool. That's a hero that maybe we could see one of those
10
teams pick up.
seconds
I think it
remaining.
would work pretty well for Flash. There is a TA who does some decent
5
physical
seconds.
damage, but aside from that, it would be fine. And what do you know? No surprises.
Dire
Jakiro is
team
still in the
pick.
pool, immediately snapped up by Orange, also denied it to Flash, who would have loved to get their hands on him. Such a slow draft, and very reminiscent of the slow start to game one. Hopefully things will pick up. Both teams have picked a lot of action-oriented heroes. These are aggressive. These are
10
aggressive killing
seconds
heroes. These are
remaining.
aggressive team fighting heroes. I don't think we're going to see a farm fest. Maybe
5
for the first
seconds
5 minutes we'll
remaining.
see some defensive play. Xtinct, if he wants to go
Reserve
for a
time.
jungler, there's no more options for that really. They can't fit one into the lineup. I
Orange's
guess they
turn to
could.
pick.
No, they don't have any good offlane solos, so they pretty much. I guess you can. We've seen teams once in a while throw Sankey in there, but that's not how Orange like to play. So I guess this means Xtinct is not going to be jungling. A little disappointing, but this has to be iceiceice's hero. And I wonder what it'll be as Flash pick up the Lone Druid. So they pick up
10
They
seconds
pick up the Bounty
remaining.
Hunter, they get the move speed, the track gold, the chasing power. Now they have tons of
5
slows.
seconds remaining.
They have two good team fight abilities in the Scream of Pain, or team
Reserve
fight
time.
damage in the Scream of Pain and the Sonic Wave. Now they have the Ravage for lockdown, but this lineup for Flash, it looks pretty reliant on Ravage to win fights. Compare it to Orange, they have so many spammable low cooldown stuns. Burrow Strike, Ice Path, as well as Split Earth. That's a lot of AoE stuns. And Flash, they're tanky. They're trying to build this Death Ball lineup, but I wonder what they're going to do to complete it. They could put Lone Druid in the off lane. They could run Tide as a support. Or no, really can't because Bounty Hunters could be there. So I guess a safe lane Lone Druid, a solo mid Queen of Pain, Bounty Hunter in the off lane, Tide Hunter supporting the safe lane.
Brewmaster!
And then I wonder
Dire
who goes into
team
that safe
pick.
lane. I would love to see an Undying. I think that might be the perfect hero for this lineup. Just there's a lot of burst damage in Orange, but Undying is a hero. If you give him that safe lane farm, if he has a good start, he can be a big nuisance, and it will be an offensive tri lane for Orange. They pick into the Brewmaster. I'm wondering exactly who's going to go where. I guess they could run dual lanes as well. They could run a Brewmaster Jakiro dual lane, a Leshrac Sinking dual lane, and a
10
Templar
seconds
Assassin.
remaining.
Or it could be tri lanes. It could be a solo TA. It could be a solo
5
Leshrac.
seconds remaining.
Actually, that would be a double melee tri lane.
Reserve time.
I wonder what they've got up their sleeves. Maybe a solo mid Sand King? But then you're laning against Queen of Pain. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm guessing dual lanes right now. Guessing a Jakiro Brewmaster off lane, Lestrak, Sand King, safe lane, and a solo mid TA. And Flash, I'm curious about them as well. It could be a Lone Druid solo mid. I'd say he's one of the better heroes to deal with TA, aside from the hard counters or more of the standard counters like the Bat Rider and the Venomancer. Because you get 2 damage sources with the bear, with the hero, and you also have a lot of overall damage between the 2 of those. So it helps you to deal with the refraction. And Flash, well, they go for something that sort of fits a similar role to the Undying. They get the Chen. Not going to offer you a frontline tank per se, but it does give you a way to deal with the burst damage. Build that early mech, get the Hand of God up, and when Orange initiate, if they don't kill you right away, you might be able to live through the fight. You might be able to turn things around with the Ravage. This is a turnaround kind of lineup for Flash. They have a tanky carry in the Lone Druid. They have survivable heroes in Queen of Pain and Bounty Hunter, elusive ones to bring down. And then they have the big team fight ult. So if Orange are not able to burst this Flash lineup down, Flash can turn things around. Again, though, they are very reliant on Ravage. They don't have any other stuns. They have 0 other disables on this team. Unless you count Entangle, which is not reliable.
10 seconds remaining.
So it makes you think the Tidehunter should be getting some serious farm.
5 seconds remaining.
But they don't really have the space for him to do that. They have Bounty Hunter, they have Lone Druid, they have Queen of Pain. It's kind of got to be a 5 position. Tidehunter, most likely. Hengkyky, you can already see Bind Wards playing that support role for this team.
Prepare
He's handling the
for
Tidehunter.
battle.
KS on the Lone Druid. DSF playing the Bounty Hunter. ehwahh on the Queen of Pain. And MLG handling the Chen. Anything interesting as far as the items go? There's a smoke on Tide. Maybe gonna go for some early kills with the Chen. Ice playing the Brewmaster. Don't know if I've ever seen him play this hero before. This should be interesting. Mushi, of course, on the Templar Assassin. Ice on the Sand King. And leading up, or pulling up the rear, I should say, as I just realized I gotta fix my overlay. Yamateh on the Leshrac, and Xtinct handling the Jakiro. And I'm not transmitting in-game, apparently, so let's fix that as well. Thank you, Dota, for trolling me. Alright, looks like we should have the overlays fixed. We should have the in-game audio fixed, and we're underway with game number 2. So for anyone tuning in, this is game 2.
30 seconds.
Ooh, can they kill this bear right away? That would be really big if they can do it. There's no return on the bear that's level 1. And, oh, they missed the Split Earth. I think if they hit the Split Earth, they get another level of stuns. That makes life really hard for the Lone Druid. In the end, they'll be okay. So anyway, this is game number 1, or game number 2 of Orange versus Flash. In game 1, we saw Orange just absolutely dismantle Flash, and they want a first blood. They've also warded off the safe camp here. They're trying to limit those pulls. They expect the defensive jungle, and they're just going to put the aggression up right away. And hengkyky is not, he does not see ice. This could be our first blood. That's a Split Earth, Ice Path, Burrow Strike, triple AoE stun combo. Probably one of the best level 1 fighting lineups in the game, aside from the Templar Assassin. It was really smart of them to be aggressive, because Flash are not taking a fight at level 1. They have Tide, who's doesn't do much. Queen of Pain, not that effective at level 1. Really, none of these heroes are. I won't be surprised if Orange just repeatedly gank the middle lane. I don't know what Flash can do to stop that either. They just have to have good vision up. That's the only way they can deal with the aggression. The game hasn't even started yet. You guys are so mad. Oh my god. This chat is unbelievable. Let's give you guys a 2-minute slow. Actually a 3-minute slow, that sounds good. That'll calm you all down for a little bit. But yeah, this is game number 2, guys. This is Orange versus Flash. Orange took game 1. And I think Orange have really picked a good lineup to deal with Flash. It's gonna be hard for Flash to avoid giving up kills. It's gonna be really difficult. Just endless pings coming out from the Tidehunter. Gotta say, it's hard to get into a rhythm casting these games when when every single game for Orange just has like 5 pauses. Their internet's not cooperating with them today. This time it's Mushi. Last time it was Ice, so it seems at least a few other players are having lots of ping issues, lots of delay issues. At this point, normally you can, when there's a pause, you can at least show the gold graphs, show something of what's going on. And I guess hengkyky has figured out they're here because he's pinged, or maybe not. He has pinged everywhere on the map. I thought maybe he had seen them. The tension, the suspense is killing me. Are they gonna get this first blood? I don't know if this means they're there, if he's trying to draw something and just doing a very bad job of it. Okay. I guess hengkyky has an idea they might be up there. This is a good time for me to mention for all you guys just tuning in. If you missed any of the games today or from previous days, youtube.com/ldDOTA. I have a playlist that's the first playlist in my channel which has all of the games up until today listed there. So if you've missed any of the games, the VODs are all available on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. And all of today's games will be uploaded shortly after the conclusion of today's action. So if you're not already subscribed to me, or you're not already subscribed to Godz, youtube.com/godzstudios, you should do so. And that way you'll get a notification every time we upload one of the games. Goodness gracious, you guys are animals in the chat. Just absolutely out of control. I don't get the at what cost. What does that have to do with my casting? Oh boy. Alright, let's look at the standings. So IG, and actually let's talk about the schedule for what's coming up in the future, since we're having a really long pause. Let's see. Okay, let me bring up my schedule, and here we go. So we don't have any games tomorrow. We have one day off, which I think a lot of the Chinese casters just wanted a break, because there's been a lot of casting for them. They're usually the ones who want to break in between these sets. But on Sunday, we'll come back at 3:30 or 15:30 SGT, and it'll be Orange versus N9, followed by MUC versus Sequential Gaming at 20 SGT. So that's the schedule for Sunday. And then we get to see LGD again. Finally, LGD and IG just. It's the one thing that makes me sad about this format is we saw a lot of them the first 2 days, but we don't get to see them at all for like 3 or 4. But now we're back to the game. Now we're back to watching the game. This is too much. This is too much. I think I'm gonna make it a daily tradition of trolling you guys, since it works so well today. Everyone gets so mad about the overlays. Oh man, I love it. What I don't love is this pause. This I'm not a big fan of. I think the new meme needs to be buy Mushi new internet. Poor guy, just can't seem to get a stable connection going today. Still had some nice plays, but you know when we saw him airball the sonic wave over here earlier, that may have been why. It may have been his internet. not gonna respond to that. Oh, jeez. I'm out of material, honestly. I'm sorry, guys. I have nothing to say right now. I don't know why. It's been a long week, and I think what I'm gonna do is just switch to the wrong overlay and cast with that for the rest of the day, just to see how mad I can make 5,000 people. Let's go to the draft. This is that time where I add my cat to the stream as well. Just because we're professional here at Beyond the Summit. We are nothing if not professional. And I want to put on music, but I can't because then YouTube will get upset. But just pretend there's music going on in the background while my cat does laps around the map out of sheer boredom. Oh man. I wish there was a way to play like Tetris or Pong or something overlaying the screen easily. That would be fun. This has been quite a pause. I wish I could tell how long it's been. Give us back the overlay. Oh boy. Oh, you know what I can do is tell you guys that you should be following these teams on Facebook. There, they normally don't make you wait this long. Facebook.com/flashesports, Facebook.com/orangeesports.dota. Show them some support, show them some love. It does help their sponsors. Or wait, no, that's not the right one. orangeesports.dota. There you go. Wonder why the other one didn't work. But yeah, show them some love, show them some support. Also, I will mention that Mushi has his own Facebook what is it? Yeah, Mushi has a lot of fans, guys. He's got 27,000 followers. So show him some love on Facebook. Let him know that you appreciate his internet and you want to buy him a fresh set. Yeah, sorry, that was the wrong link. The correct one is this one. I'm not losing it. I'm literally. This is where having a co-caster helps because we can talk about something, but I'm just talking to myself like a crazy person. Solo casting. Sorry for the delay, guys. I do apologize. If there's anything I could do, I would be doing it, but it's really out of my control. Yay! Mushi is back inside the game, so it's time for this overlay. Time for this overlay. You know, guys, the worst part about you trolling me is that when there actually is a problem, I'm not gonna know because you're the boy who cried wolf. You're telling me overlay, you're telling me sound when it is working, when it's not broken. And now you're never gonna know. hengkyky laughs. hengkyky is gonna walk away towards that middle lane. Alright, let's try to get our heads back inside this game. So, we'll reintroduce the players, we'll put some more context in this game. This is This is game number 2 of Flash versus Orange. Orange absolutely dismantled Flash in game number 1. And we have a haste run coming in. X is going to lead the charge. hengkyky running towards Mushi into the middle of 4 heroes. Easy first blood. Apparently he didn't know they were there. And X marks the spot. He'll go down. The offensive tri-lane strikes first, and they do it not in the tri-lane where they will be heading, but they do it in mid. Kill went to Mushi. And that's going to give him a very quick bottle or phase boots, whatever he wants to go for. Now this matchup, I would actually say Templar Assassin doesn't necessarily have that easy of a time. Having the bear having 2 sources of damage is, well, just a really high combined damage between the bear and the hero. Makes it pretty easy for you to maintain a good last hitting. But when you get Mushi first blood like this, it gets incredibly hard. So the tri-lane, Ice on the Sand King, xtinct on the Jakiro, not going to be playing a jungler this time around. Yamateh, the farming Listrak. Orange, one of the few teams that really enjoy running this farming Listrak. Mushi soloing mid as Templar Assassin. Ice on the bottom lane. 1v1 as a Panda. And the aggression comes forth. ehwahh forced to blink away, Split Earth not cancelled in time. Clarity Potion being cancelled there. A little unfortunate. For Flash, we have DSF as the offlane bounty hunter, but I actually think this is a pretty good matchup. Panda can really trade blows effectively because he's got that early evasion, and as well as having Thunderclap with the attack speed slow, you can trade hits with a hero like bounty hunter, whereas most heroes can't. So I think this is really smart play. MLG is playing the Chen. He's offensive jungling. hengkyky, the support tied up against this tri-lane. He's just food if he does anything. If he tries to help this lane, he's basically going to give away kills. And unfortunately, look at the wards from Orange, which would have been pointed out earlier except we had so many pauses, but they blocked off 2 of the key camps. It means that if hengkyky wants to pull, he has to do it here. He's going to be a lot closer to the tri-lane, a lot easier for them to just swoop in and gank him. Whereas if you can pull this camp, then it's a much safer pull. You're so far away that if they journey to gank you, they're not pressuring the top lane. ehwahh just under constant assault. So far, so good though. He hasn't died. And middle lane KS, let's see, how is he farming? 5 and 2, Mushi's 8 and 5. Mushi with the bottle up already. And an offensive jungle, Chen pretty much couldn't, not even sure he wanted to be here. Probably wanted to be helping the Queen of Pain, probably wanted to be helping the tri-lane. Because really you're not going to get any kills on the Panda early on. You're not getting any kills on Templar Assassin. These are 2 of the harder to gank heroes. Hardest to gank heroes in the laning stage, I would say. Panda with the evasion, the attack speed slow, and of course Templar Assassin with refraction. So he's going to be farming, but he can't help them where they really need the help. And it just goes back to the wards. It goes back to the rest of play. You'll notice Orange just put down a fresh sentry ward inside the camp. Again rewarding. Now ehwahh taking some damage. The Split Earth not going to hit. Ooh, that was close though. That's a kill if they hit the Split Earth. So not quite there, but you see the potential for it once they start chaining up these stuns. ehwahh's level 4. It's getting to be a bit of a concern for Orange that they haven't actually killed him off. They haven't managed to kill off the Queen of Pain, and she's already level 4. She's going to have a level 3 Scream of Pain soon, at which point that's going to hit for about half the HP pool. Burst Shaking on hengkyky. This is probably the one you want to go for. Ice Path to follow it up, then the Split Earth. Soul Breath over the top, but Yamateh may die in exchange for this Tidehunter. Not able to salve up, doesn't have one. Yamateh juking like a boss and denied by Ice. ehwahh blinks forward into the trees, and they're not going to go. What a deny by Ice. That was a crucial deny. ehwahh would have probably hit level 5 off of that, as well as just getting a kill on the farmer in the tri-lane. That was big time. So they get a kill, they have a deny. Bottom lane, iceiceice dropping low, the Inva Tornado bringing him down, and he dies to the tornado damage. Meanwhile in the mid lane, Haster picked up by the lone druid, by the hero bear. One of the nice things you can do as lone druid, gives you some good lane controls. Use the bear to check runes and pick them up. Or just scout them out for your team, depending on, as the case may be.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So we're very early into this game, and gold-wise experience, gold-wise we're dead even, but experience-wise it's a big lead for Flash. In spite of the fact that they had the pulls really shut down, it's only Tidehunter who's suffering as ehwahh gets caught. This is not good, cannot afford to be giving up those kills. That's going to give Ice level 4, as well as the Jakiro and Yamateh hitting 3. The farmer is the lowest level. iceiceice really dominated this bottom lane. Doing a lot more than you expect he would, because there is a Chen pressuring him. He's already got 15 CS, he's got 6 denies. Bounty Hunter is out farming him, but iceiceice just playing aggressively, controlling the wave quite well. Middle lane, Mushi's starting to pull away with this one. As Refraction gets leveled up, the bear dies really quickly, and you can also use it to harass the hero if you're careful. I'm a little surprised we're not seeing Chaos go for Tranquil Boots. I feel like you need them to deal with the harassment. But we may see him just ferry out themselves. And Phase Boots are nice to try and run for the TA. Mushi's diving, he wants to kill this bear. Cannot resummon it while it's taking damage, and the cooldown is there anyway. Bottom lane, iceiceice hits level 6. Does not have mana, this would be a pretty good time to go, but it's middle lane where Chaos is getting dove, and the lone druid not sitting in range melee form is going to cost him. Great rotation in. Really need a ward here when you're up against an offensive tri-lane, otherwise they can just run through your jungle and gank you that way, and a very effective gank. Tri-lane is starting to work out pretty well. Now, ehwahh gets more farm as a result because of this rotation, but you've shut down the lone druid twice now, you've killed him off. Or you've killed off the Tidehunter for the first blood, and then the lone druid in mid well. And it's not like ehwahh's been farming a whole lot, only 19 and 13. Double damage rune picked up by Mushi. As far as net worth goes, Mushi is our leader, 500 gold. Wonder if he'll get the phase boots, maybe he'll think about rushing a blink, because he could have one real fast the way he's farming. KS, this is smart. Probably should have been doing it to begin with. Oh, in fact, he's already got the phase boots. Sorry, they were on the courier. So yeah, he's really farmed. Bottom lane, they dive onto iceiceice. Still, no mana for the ult. Now he's got it, and now he's low. He may be forced to use this. Is there another Shuriken toss? There is. You can see DSF frantically trying to push that lane and trying to get the creeps onto the tower. This forces the rotation in, though, for Mushi, and Mushi should find MLG. This will be an easy kill. No Mel just yet. Walking close, phasing in, trap to follow. MLG is dead. Meanwhile, up top, Queen of Pain is going to go down. MLG. One more auto tech, Mushi gets the kill. He's on a killing spree. He got that first blood. He got another kill from the Sand King gank, and now hengkyky being driven back. Can yamateh hit the split earth? Does he have a little bit of the R-start in him? Come on, yamateh. Come on, yamateh. You got it. hengkyky out, really breaking his own ankles, and now the burrow strike, the split earth. He's gonna die to this. Another kill for Orange, who had the better lineup just to fight immediately in the late stage. Maybe not. He salves up. Burrow strike is not here. One more auto tech, they'll get the kill in the end. ehwahh rotates in, should be able to kill off Xtinct, blinking forward, then securing the kill with the last hit. Chasing onwards to Ice. Ice has Sandstorm. Should be the end of that engagement. But this is exactly what I was talking about in the laning stage, that Orange, they don't have any real teamfight ability, or Flash don't have any teamfight stuns. They don't have Burrow Strike, they don't have Split Earth. Their only stun, their only true stun, it comes from the Ravage, and it's a support tide. Forced into that role by the nature of the draft, and really Orange just understanding that and exploiting it beautifully. Even to the point where they went for the level 1 aggression into the jungle. Sometimes that can really backfire, but because of the heroes they had and because of the matchups they had, they knew they could do it. Now MLG is probably going to die to this. Mushi, maybe waiting for backup. Probably doesn't want to try and find the Chen when the Dark Troll Warlord is there. That's not the easiest kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gold-wise, experience-wise, Orange do start to pull away with this. Mushi waiting mid, but once the Lone Druid's sitting in melee form, TA probably can't kill him 1v1, especially if the bear gets an entangle. It can actually go the other way. How is KS farming? Only 300 gold, no boots on the bear, no Orb of Venom, nowhere near getting something else, and well, Ice is farming quite a bit. This is a safe lane Panda, but in a sense he's kind of their off lane because he didn't have any support. Yamateh gets the tower, and the glyph wasted. That's a bit of a blunder. That's going to allow Orange, if they'd like to be really aggressive going for the next tower. Force some rotations in. Track onto iceiceice. Gotta be careful about DSF. Ice Path to start things off. ehwahh able to blink away. In comes Tide. Really should not be too aggressive. Doesn't have Ravage yet, and he won't in the end. Tangle into Mushi, and Mushi still doing the damage, even while he's entangled. I would like to see another smoke gank mid. I think the only real issue right now is going to be if this Lone Druid starts getting some farm. I feel they can leave 2 heroes top and be fine. Although, as I say that, MLG has rotated top. They do have good ward vision. They have a ward here and a ward here. Nice ward to have while you're pushing the tower, and even once the tower's down. In fact, this is going to come down to MLG having fantastic micro. Ice will be the first one spot out. He's got Epicenter, and there aren't any stuns aside from this net. Don't be surprised if he hits an incredible Epicenter. As soon as the net goes off, can just Burrow Strike forward and drop it. What is he waiting for? Perhaps worried about ehwahh, and Salving up now going to pay for this. Scream of Pain. There you go. Or rather, the Sonic Wave to kill that.
Dire's bottom tower.
DSF almost
That
dying.
was the sound
Panda
of
ult
your
was used on the
death.
bottom lane, and that's a pretty big loss to use that Panda ult and actually get the kill. Now iceiceice forced the TP out. I'm a little surprised Sandking just didn't go for it. Sure, Queen of Pain may be able to burst you down, but you also have a chance of just getting your team 2 kills, and Yamateh and X could have followed up there. So if they hold on to the epicenter, maybe they'll go for it with round 2. And now everybody hitting level 5, hitting level 6, and the ice path to start off on ehwahh. This is the order of operations they were looking for, but no split earth? Not enough anyway. As he did use it. Hengkyky taking some edict damage, sent back to base onto the Queen of Pain, blinking forward as Mushi. Finally Mushi arrived. He knows Hengkyky is dead. He wants to go for another kill. He's picked up his blink dagger shortly, so just such an early blink, 11 minutes in. DSF is here. DSF's gonna track Yamateh. Shuriken toss to follow. Yamateh drops incredibly low. He may die. Does Mushi have a melody? Doesn't. Queen of Pain jumps in. Going on to extinct. ehwahh wants to turn this one around, and he will do so. Killing spree for him. Up against the offensive tri-lane. He may even get Mushi. No mana for refraction. No mana for refraction. This could be a track kill as well. Needs just a few points of mana. Doesn't get it. Double kill for ehwahh. And that's 4 kills in a row for him. 4 and 2 after a pretty slow start. Really accelerating and getting things accomplished. Iceiceice doesn't have the ult. They might even be able to get another. This will be a huge victory for Flash. Just getting these pickoffs, catching Orange, too aggressive. Catching Mushi without the mana. Orange did chase incredibly far for that kill. Probably farther than they should have. Chaos is going back for Tranquil Boots on the hero, so he's not rushing any items. He just wants to make sure he's always at full HP. Doesn't want to be caught low. And Yamateh, this is not really the level of farm we're used to seeing from his Leshrac. Normally he farms on the safe side. Oh, that's going to be a solo kill. Or not a solo kill, but that's going to be a quick kill on Yamateh, further slowing him down. Iceiceice charging in. Meanwhile in the middle lane, ehwahh starting to flex his muscles. They're going to rotate the Lone Druid out of that middle lane. This means if Orange want to gank now, they have to be farther away from where the action is. If they're pressuring top, it's hard to get to the runes. You can't easily counter gank mid. So by rotating the Lone Druid here, by sheer distance and by sheer travel time required to gank him, it makes him less easy to kill. And it's why we normally see Lone Druid there to start off. I like this adjustment. I think it's really smart. And Queen of Pain, sure, she can be killed, but the Sand King's not. He actually does have a max barrel strike. So maybe they could kill him, but it's not going to be as easy. Flash, this looks to be a dead Flash. Will he net in time? No, because there's a split earth that catches out the Dark Troll Warlord, preventing it from casting. Would have needed incredible reflexes anyway. In fact, I don't even know if the cast animation is fast enough to get one off in time, but it would have been close.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Extinct
attack.
now, gonna rotate into the jungle. Farm puts a 1 stack along with Mushi. Mushi already level 10. They have shut down Yamateh, but this is sort of the story of Orange. When they, even if you do manage to shut down one, it's so hard to shut down Yamateh and Mushi. And where one of them creates some slack, the other almost always tightens it and picks it up.
Radiant's middle
Hengkyky has got Ravage now. This is what Flash needs. They gotta make these Ravages count. And this could be a good opportunity. Unfortunately, Mushi's got Refraction. That'll force the blink back. There's another trap to be detonated. I just want to mention real quickly, while we have a second, that traps have been nerfed a tiny bit in this patch. They start off when they are detonated with a 30% slow that ramps up to the 50% they used to do instantly over a period of a second or two. So they're not quite as good, but it's still a slight nerf. I mean, TA is basically the same hero. It doesn't really change what makes her Templar Assassin, which is Refraction. DSF finds a haste for it. This could be big. Mushi jumps on top of it, and now Mushi's gonna get tracked. He's not going to blink away while he's taking this damage. In fact, Refraction cools down. They had the Ravage. I think they could have gone for that kill, but they saw iceiceice rotating in. Don't want to fight. Actually, they do. DSF going back in. Mushi, 1 second. This is going to be a turnaround. This will probably be the death of DSF as he gets stunned by the boulder toss. Trying to run away. Everybody here. It's a Panda ult for that, and they do still have the Ravage, but no Bounty Hunter. And now they're looking to pressure the tower. Yamateh running, Chaos chasing, hoping for an entangle. Wants this solo kill, meanwhile the split push happening in the bottom side of the map. Yamateh gonna TP out, give him an entangle! Give him an entangle! No, Yamateh says, no entangle for you. And he won't get it in the end. So. Unfortunate, unlucky. I don't know if this is Chaos's hero. I gotta say, his RNG has not been too good today. He picks up the Gloves of Haste. He's probably going for Maelstrom. It's really nice to get a Radiance against Templar Assassin. A, because it'll burn through Refraction, and B, because it disables Blink Daggers. And there's multiple Blink heroes. It's not just the TA, it's the same kid and the Brewmaster. So I think this could be a good pickup. Burrow Strike onto hengkyky. They got a chain stun him. Not able to do so. Now the Scream of Pain, as well as that Sonic Wave doing tons of damage. ehwahh doing work. Ravage being used very effectively. Jakiro denied to the creeps. Burrow striking up onto the cliff. MLG chain stun. Suddenly, Yamateh arrives. Yamateh does battle. Now the track onto ice. Just trying to find these kills. ehwahh weaving his way in and out of this fight. Yamateh taking a lot of damage to DSF. Look at those Janadas just ruining him. Dying almost from full health. Beautiful jukes. Hither and thither. Now will there be a track on a mushi? In 1 second there will be. They don't have detection. The Centaur Stomp that does not remove Refraction. Only abilities that move your heroes, such as Batrider's Flame Break or Pudge's Hook, can remove you out of Refraction. So a little bit unfortunate. Mushi will escape, but that's what this lineup wants to do. They want to fight when Ravage is up and hit multiple heroes, get a couple of track kills. And that's going to tip the scales. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying, "Oh, Flash is a new team. Flash is not experienced." They're not as refined as Orange, and certainly Orange should be the favorites in any series with the kind of names they have on their team. But I gotta say, guys, I've seen some really promising signs out of Flash, not just today, but in the past. Look at ehwahh. He's almost got an Orchid. This could be huge. In this game, there's so many casters. You know, I almost think it's a better choice than the Hacks, and Mushi wants to fight with this Inviswyrn, but there are no easy kills here. These guys are all grouped up together. Maybe the Chen. He's spending a lot of time doing this, though.
Tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, the real action, I suppose. Bounty Hunter's running. He's gonna need a Gush and an Anchor Smash. Yamateh with that Max Deke doing a lot of damage. It's gonna go down again. The splitter to connect. Ice getting blocked up by the trees. Now tracked, and he may die as well. Meanwhile, over in the middle lane, there was a kill, but let's focus bottom. Epicenter gonna go off. Gonna not kill DSF. DSF has been a wizard on this Bounty Hunter. Really going blow for blow with what we saw from iceiceice last game. I'm telling you guys, Bounty Hunter deserves a ban. I really think he deserves to be banned in these games. I don't know if we've seen a bad game from Bounty Hunter in the G1 League, and we've had at least 8 to 10 games played with that hero in a variety of seeds. Teams from North America, teams from China, teams from Southeast Asia. Everybody's using this hero, and everybody is at least doing well with him, whether or not they go on to win. And for the most part, he's winning. I wish I had Bruno here to tell me the win rates, but it's good. The Orchid's up. This is big. Now, what Flash lack in the ability to get kills through abilities, or in their potential to get kills through abilities, they make up for it in items. If they get a Hex up on the Queen of Pain, or in this case an Orchid, that allows them to find solo kills. It really does. They don't have a Splitter, they don't have a Burrow Strike, but what they have now is this Orchid. They have that Silence, they have that Initiation. And they have DSF, who's really making doing a lot. He might even force out a Primal Split. I think iceiceice has to use it. DSF really wants to force it. No, iceiceice able to blink away just in time. He'll be okay. Track on the Yamateh now. And another Smoke Gank. Ravage is up. Like clockwork, as soon as Ravage is up, they're gonna go fight. They're gonna go clash. Now, they do have ehwahh here. I would say you want to have your Bounty Hunter around, and it looks like that may be DSF's plan. Blinking and catching out ice. Oh, that's a big catch, but this is an even bigger blink from ehwahh. And the Burrow Strike after the Ravage. hengkyky held on to that for way too long. Really should have dropped it sooner. Cost this Queen of Pain her life. She had the ult, she had the Scream, she had all the AoE damage. Maelstrom now up on the Lone Druid. The concern is, are Orange just going to get real aggressive now that Ravage is blown? It's not only the fact that you let your Queen of Pain die, it's what can Orange do to take advantage of this? I feel they can be pretty damn aggressive with that, without that being up, and they will be blinking over the top into the Primal Split. Who's going to be the focus here? Will be DSF, who's on a bit of a streak. DSF going to go down, giving away 308 gold. Now Chen thrown up in the air. This will be at least 2 kills. hengkyky may die if he stays. I don't know if they can fight this anymore, but they will. Nice Chen micro, keeping everyone alive as best they can. Tracking the Earth Panda. I don't think that stays on the hero. I guess it does.
Top tower is under attack.
Interesting. ehwahh blinking forward. Bear resummoned backwards. And now the second round. The fight's not over yet. This is that spammable AoE stun. There's no Ravage, but there is Burrow Strike. There is a Primal. There is a Clap. And there's a blink potentially. iceiceice, nothing to stop his TP except for the entangle. And there is no entangle today. Incredibly chaotic back and forth fight. And in the end, it's not even over. Ice path into the epicenter. KS taking a lot of damage, but gets the entangle, and Ice may yet live, may yet survive. The Sentry Ward gets dropped, Ice will go down, and KS magically just gonna get sent back to base. He's gonna live through it all. Unbelievable. Doesn't even have a cloak on the hero, which, by the way, he needs to buy a cloak. A casual cloak in this game is essential against this many nukers. Really surprised he hasn't already. Bloodstone is complete on yamateh. Say what you will about the man, he knows how to farm. And now MLG in a little bit of trouble. He's getting caught out and picked off. Now on to xtinct. xtinct taking some good damage. xtinct will drop. And DSF just lurking. Just lurking. mushi, this bounty hunter is... it really shows you how well the bounty hunter can deal with the early Templar Assassin. The repeated auto attacks, and if TA turns around to fight, you just go inside your meld. Burrow striking in though, DSF taking some damage, but just gonna run away, and the track move speed allowing him to escape. This hero does a lot to deal with TA, and we're seeing it. mushi wants to chase, he wants to find something, he's gonna find hengkyky. It's been such a long fight that Ravage is back up. Can you guys believe it? I certainly cannot. Is there any stun? Nope, yamateh not able to find it. Meanwhile, the kill they do find is DSF gets another one, 3, 2, and 5. It feels like he's had even more, but still 8 kill participation so far. Decent amount of track gold for his team. And I don't even think Flash is having great fights right now. I actually think their fights are rather... They had the one really good fight with the first Ravage. The second Ravage was not a well-coordinated fight. They definitely made some mistakes, but if they have a good fight, I think it'll go a lot better. DSF gonna get caught out. He's gonna drop.
Out. My loyalty.
And this is the one thing that we saw Flash struggle with in the Gosu Cup Asia against Orange. Is in the mid game, they just got picked off too much. Orange just they were grouped up a little bit better. They used their abilities more effectively, and they didn't ever get caught out of position, or very rarely, I should say. Whereas for Flash, a little bit of a less experienced team. This is one of the ways that a veteran team can beat you. Even if you play equally well, even if you have the same level of mechanics and individual skill, you gotta make equally good decisions. And I'm not saying they necessarily do. I don't think it's fair to say any of these players are as talented as mushi or yamateh, but I've been fairly impressed by KS and ehwahh so far. I think with enough practice, enough dedication, they could challenge Orange for Southeast Asian Dota 2 supremacy. hengkyky working towards a pipe. I mentioned the casual cloak. Pipe is another thing they really want along the same lines. They do need the magical resistance badly for all these AoE nukes. mushi has really been stunted. Not in terms of farm, he's still farming well, but we just haven't seen him get the kind of kills he's hoping for. As the game goes longer, it gets harder too, because then Entangle is a lot more liable to proc the high attack speed. The fight breaks out near Roshan, immediate Ravage. This did not catch mushi. This could be trouble, but yamateh will drop right away. Now mushi jumps in with the BKB. No real answers for that. The chain stun, trying to bring KS down. Epicenter as well. All attention on KS. KS being sent back, not gonna get away. And in the end, Chen thrown up in the air. Bounty Hunter throwing out tracks wherever he can. They have to hit every hero with the Ravage. It's the lack of stunts. Then mushi just jumping in. Is it going to be enough, though? The BKB has worn off. Blinking forward. MLG next in line. Now the track just to drive mushi away. Blinking forward again. ehwahh getting aggressive. I don't think they can kill mushi, but just to try and get him away. Then turn around. Deal with iceiceice. They pick him off, so it wasn't really an awful fight. It's fortunate that they focused the lone druid first. I feel if they had focused anyone else, Orange would have gotten a lot more kills out of that, but it takes so long to bring him down. They used an epicenter just for him. Didn't really hit anyone else. It could have been a disaster. The lone druid barely failed to be sent back to base. For anyone just tuning in, this is game number 2 of Flash versus Orange, and these teams are fighting. They're in the middle of the pack at Group B. And if Orange are able to win this, they'll be tied with DK for first place. If not, there'll be a 3-way tie for second place. So lots at stake here, and Orange are going to sneak in a Roshan, pulling a fast one on Flash. That is bad. That is not something they want to be giving away right now. Now mushi's up to 3k gold. He is farming. He is farming quite well. Yamateh's starting to slip behind a little bit. Desperately needs this BKB. If Mushi gets big enough, the only answer is going to be track and entangles. That's the only way they're going to deal with him. Mjolnir is going to help a lot. You can already see how fast the bear's attacking without Rabbit even being used. And it's got phase boot, so it can't be body blocked by anything. You can just continue to stay attached at the hip to Mushi. I'll tell you though, KS he needs to talk to Ice Frog because I don't think he's getting the percentage of entangles he should be. Some people just have no business playing Lone Druid, and unlucky people, or people who don't do well with RNG, are high on that list. The bigger group, though, is the people who can't micro, into which many of us watching the stream probably fall. DSF has his BKB up, so we're seeing a next level of items from him. Getting something that will make Orange a lot less scary in these team fights. It's only Mushi really does physical damage. And he can walk in and just try to assassinate yamateh, who is only sitting on 6 armor. This is the weakness of Leshrac, is he's not naturally tanky at all, so you need armor, you need magical immunity, you need a lot of HP as well. You need everything. You can't, it's not like a hero like Dragon Knight where you pretty much just need the magic immunity, maybe a little bit of HP. We've already got the armor. Or a hero like Anti-Mage already has the magic immunity. So you need every piece of the puzzle. DSF charges in. This is that initiation. Just jump on yamateh, burst him down, and he will be burst down very quickly. Now Mushi next to line. The backline of play, the Chen got picked up by Brewmaster and these other supports. The issue might be, though, that the chain stuns are here, and the Ravage is going to connect only on iceiceice. Trying to focus him down. He gets off the Primal Split. This is going to be a disaster. Epicenter being channeled. It's an absolute cluster F of a fight. hengkyky next in line. Everyone going to be picked off. Mushi did have the Aegis through this fight. And never lost it. Mushi's still around. He's still kicking. He's doing work. And that's another kill for him. Orange just living by the skin of their teeth. Their chinny chin chins. Finally, ehwahh gonna blink away. Gonna escape. The lone survivor from what was a brutal genocide, an absolute massacre. Flash need a perfect Ravage, and with a support Tidehunter who doesn't have a blink, without having enough tracks up, and with Chen getting picked off before the fight, all these variables, the fight becomes pretty much unwinnable, and it doesn't help that Mushi has an Aegis. That does not work to their favor. I did like the play of just assassinating yamateh. I think that is the correct play. They need to find a way to get a better Ravage off. They've got to hit. They really have to burst down the heroes like the Sand Kid and the Twin-Headed Dragon first. Panda is not the best hero to focus. I'm sure if you get the Orchid on him, and maybe you can burst him down. Especially once the Scythe of Ice is up. Then they could assassinate him. But when you blow all those spells, all those nukes on a Panda, then he turns around and Primal Splits and you don't even kill him, the fight's over. And you can't run either, because they've got so much chasing power, so much chain stun and slow. And multiple Blink Daggers. Speaking of Blink Daggers, Sand King doesn't have one yet. It is Ice, the hard support player, so... along with Xtinct, so I guess it's to be expected. But they're doing a lot of work without his Blink. There's so many other ways to initiate that they really don't... They don't desperately need a Sand King Blink, they just need him to get off an Epicenter. And it's not that hard to do it. There's only one AoE stun. There's a Queen of Pain Silence, but in the middle of that fight, when there's like six heroes, 8 heroes in a small area, plus the bear and creeps, it's just good luck clicking on the right here. Good luck even seeing that Sand King. Bear doing some harassment on iceiceice. hengkyky, no Ravage. Surprising aggressive position from Flash. Don't think they should be forcing a fight right now, and they realize that they agree, they're going to back off. It's a Manta style for Mushi, and this is DSF again getting caught out. But this time he does have the BKB, may be able to live. Still, he's so low and his BKB's already been forced. Turns around to track Mushi. Mushi also popped his BKB. Aegis has expired. Or, excuse me, was used up in ice. Taking some damage, dies. That's a big pickoff to get off the bat. Without the Mushi BKB, they don't want to fight. yamateh doesn't have his yet. Split Earth, nicely done, hitting quite a few heroes. Now the chase to continue. Smoke immediately going to be thwarted by Ice Path. So annoying to try to fight through traffic with that. Really can't run up and down those choke points. And I just got the news from Shostakovich, or Bruno, the other Bruno from Dota Academy. Bounty Hunter has a near 90% win rate in the G1 league. I actually don't know if that applies to other leagues, but in G1 and Asian Dota, he's sitting around 90%. So for anyone who thought I was being silly saying that maybe he deserves that ban, I don't know if we've ever seen a hero with that high of a win rate. This is quite a few games. I think he's got at least 7 or 8 games played. He's up there. Now, it hasn't worked that well for Flash. It should be mentioned, not sure it's the best lineup for Bounty Hunter. It will help your lone druid to chase a little bit. It does, you have some hero killing potential, but it's not really the same kind of lineup that we saw out of teams like IG, where there's just so much synergy, so many hero killers, so many stuns, so much crowd control and lockdown, where Bounty Hunter is just guaranteed to see tons of track kills. Preemptive primal split, then the lone druid with a long range boulder toss. Pipe is popped perhaps a little bit early. And on decent split, they don't want to group up, they don't want to get hit by a big epicenter, they don't want to get by that big AoE stun. The Fire Panda is being focused down. So far, so good, I would say. Chaos surviving. The Ravage is... Did he actually blow it? It looked like he started to cast it, and they got Cyclone mid-animation. No, he did use it. Didn't get the sound effect for it. Just didn't really stun anyone because of all these BKBs, and he'll drop in the end. Iceiceice is going to fall, though. DSF surviving. Pulse Nova will bring him down next, and Mushi's still alive. Blinking on backwards towards ehwahh. That's the Sight Device and his Orchid. Can do a lot of work with this lone druid in tandem. There's your entangle. Finally, Mushi is going to get entangled, but is it enough? The Twin-Headed Dragon with the Ice Path, the spammable stuns, the spammable Ravages, just winning this fight, turning it around for Orange, but it looked a little bit bleak. So hard to play against this many AoE stuns. They need a team full of BKBs. So that's honestly the only way they're going to win a fight, is if Queen of Pain is a BKB. If Tidehunter has a blink, I mean, you don't really need a BKB on him. And even Lone Druid, if not a BKB, then just more items to help him tank up. I still want to see that casual cloak. I'm still surprised we haven't seen it.
Dire's middle tower
That was a very funky Ravage, just no sound effect whatsoever. And he's thrown up in the air, you see the tentacles come out, but it was very anticlimactic and downright confusing for me.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's like watching a plane crash into a building and having no noise. It's just very disorienting. Ravage is a big time spell. It should have a big time sound effect, and usually it does. BKB should be finally delivered to yamateh, and this is going to make life really difficult. Also, let's take a look at the BKB cooldowns right now, because I think Bounty Hunter is getting low. It's down to 7 for him. Mushi might even be lower. Mushi's sitting at 6, so these BKBs are really low. But yamateh's got a fresh one. His is going to be good to go from the start, and Queen of Paints might be, if she's ever able to get one. Track on the iceiceice. DSF trying to sort of be the frontline scout for his team. There's no gem at the moment. Now a track on the yamateh, big circle around, but meanwhile the blink initiation and the epicenter. Beautiful epicenter, hengkyky, Ravage in 10 seconds, sent back to base. Can he TP back into the fight? That's going to be the big question, the big story of this fight is Chaos drops low. yamateh being focused by that bear, still no entangles. Now the lone druid being driven back. Panda on bear action. Nice little juke, dodges the split earth, or dodges the entangle rather. God, getting all my abilities mixed up today. Mushi still fighting. Miraculously, did anyone die in that fight? I guess nobody died. How the hell is that even possible? What the hell? And they didn't use a Ravage, so overall, bit of a win. Did anyone buy back? No, really nobody died. Normally I figure I just missed a kill when that happened, but absolutely incredible. Nobody dies after that insanely messy team fight. A couple of BKBs for us. The Panda ult is down, and that may prompt Flash to get aggressive. Remember, there is still the level of chain stun, though. It's not guaranteed that they can just find these kills. Mushi dropping trash behind him, littering the earth, really. Mushi not showing the environment any favors, but pops his BKB. Need to keep those auto attacks coming, cannot let him blink away, and they're not going to let him. They corner him, they bring him down. Look at the bounty they got, 621, and what do you know? What do you know? Roshan's about to respawn. Iceiceice perhaps realizing this is lurking above the pit. They do not have any vision of this. And in the end, he's just going to TP out. Not sure if he meant to blink there, actually. That might have been a mistake. This Roshan is coming so soon. This is the time when you want to fight. but Mushi has to at least buy back if he wants to join this action. And it will respawn, and that's going to prompt the immediate buyback. They saw everyone streaming into the pit. Question is, do they get here in time? I don't think they'll get here in time. In fact, if they try to force this, this could end very poorly. Aegis will probably be going on to the lone druid. He's already giving his Mjolnir. No, he's going to pick up the Aegis, tossing the Mjolnir back and forth. ehwahh jumps in. Remember, Mushi just bought back. If he dies again, this could even mean Rax potentially at least trouble for him. The bear continuing to do some damage. Well, Mushi dodges a bullet. They're spread out though. Flash are being pincered, but at the same time, it's Orange who might get isolated and picked off, and it looks like they will. Xtinct tracked up. DSF wants this solo kill. This is a long way to dive. Meanwhile, yamateh just says, screw it, I'm gonna push mid. Twin-headed dragon will go down as expected.
I scream bloody
But yamateh's gonna force the
murder.
TPs back. Very smart play by him. The savvy veteran making some smart, good
Dire's
good
middle
calls here.
tower is under attack.
And do they have a gem? No gem, so Mushi will be okay. Mushi was maybe hoping to get a pick off bottom, or just hiding for his life. And a time for a pause. Let's see, do we have some delay issues again? Nope. Oh, he disconnected. Well, guys, this is game 2 of Orange versus Flash. I told you, damn it. I told you these teams have exciting games between each other. Game 1 was definitely not one of those, though. That was a stomp. But this is more what I expect, and this is what we saw from these two teams butting heads previously. Is Flash, they can give Orange a run for their money. They may not beat them. I don't know if they've done it yet, but they can definitely make them work. They're doing it so far. With this Aegis up on the bear, I guess the other question is, what has he acquired since then? He's got this plate mail. Does he have anything on the courier? A bit underfarmed, only 11k net worth. I feel like they really need a bigger bear to win this game. The Queen of Pain is massive. She's actually worth more than Mushi after that buyback. But I don't know if it's enough. I mean, maybe with a BKB. But she's all about single-use abilities and items. The Hex is a long cooldown. Orchid you can maybe use twice in a fight. Hex probably not. And Sonic Wave is going to be a long cooldown. She doesn't have an Aghanim. She doesn't have any damage items, so she can just continue to right-click in a team fight. Sure, you can blink around the screen, but that doesn't do too much when there's BKBs coming out on Leshrac and the Templar Assassin, and of course Panda really not someone you want to focus. Looks like ehwahh's back inside the game. We should be getting underway momentarily. Our two sort of most impressive players here so far have been ehwahh, who when Flash wins is usually the most impressive player on the field. Playing that Queen of Pain, 13-4-7 for him and 10-2-9 for Mushi.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Wow, this is aggressive. They dive onto ehwahh, and that's a mistake. That's the death of Ice, almost certainly. Will ehwahh use the ult? Not even going to need to. yamateh tries to TP out. Could blink forward. Oh no, doesn't have the Scythe device. Not able to stop that TP. Already used it on the Sand King. The Shrieking Toss was cooling down. Still, they overextend. They get a track kill, and those kills add up quickly. Sand King did have the Blink Dagger. Maybe just wanted to take his new toy out for a spin and kind of play around with that. But definitely not a smart decision to dive the base. That's not a Queen of Pain to shut down. This could be a bad fight though. Ravage on quite a few, and look how tanky KS is. But Mushi doing some good damage. He's got his illusions out from the Mantle Stone. KS chasing, wants to bring down that twin-headed dragon. Will do so. Aegis is up on the bear. Remember, this is not a hero you want to be focusing, but they're fighting deep inside of Orange territory, and the boulder toss now, and the BKBs coming out. And BKBs from everyone. yamateh being focused by DSF. But yamateh is now very tanky with this ultimate orb and this next level of item. Now back on to Mushi, who used buyback previously. Can they track him? They get the track off. They need to bring him down. ehwahh's got to kill him. I'm not sure why ehwahh isn't focusing him. He assumes he's already dead. He's going to ignore him. Will this cost them? No refraction just yet, but Mushi blinks away. Oh, they let Mushi escape. Huge mistake. That was a killer to here with no buyback. With tons of farm, they get yamateh instead. Not the same though. Not the right decision. ehwahh just getting a little bit greedy, and it really cost them. If they get that kill, Mushi, no buyback for 2 minutes. That's probably one lane of Rex. It might even be 2. There was no Panda ult either. Oy vey. Burrow strike in. Ice is going to start this fight off. Now the Panda doing what he can in this fight. Xtinct on the back foot. hengkyky, no Ravage for the moment. Now Mushi with the BKB. Everyone dropping low. Mushi going to work, going to town. 2 heroes get caught by the Burrow strike. And if you don't kill Mushi, he's going to find a triple. He's going to look for an ultra. Triple kill for Mushi. But I gotta say, Flash handed that to him on a silver platter. Oh, how the game can turn on a single decision. The game turns on its head, and the crowd scratches theirs. Ugh, that's frustrating if you're a fan of Flash. They also lost the Aegis in that fight. Now, they do have a BKB up in Queen of Pain, as well as 2,300 gold. She's getting a lot of items. Man. I really wanted to see Flash take Rex there. Honestly, I'd love to see this be a 1-1 series. I think it makes the tournament a lot more interesting when we have teams that are neck and neck with each other, and when, you know, Orange is just clearly the heavy favorites. And it's not that Flash are out of this, but that is a big fight to lose right there, because now Mushi's gonna buy back for the next fight, or he's gonna have the Daedalus, he's gonna have the next level of items. Ice, Ice, Ice getting close to an Aghanim's, which isn't gonna do too much at this point, but it's a nice item to pick up anyway. Flash are getting to a point where they can just focus down the Fire Panda, and Panda's ult is annoying, but it's not really that dangerous unless he's the Fire Panda doing damage. Throw a boulder here, Cyclone a hero there. It helps, but with all these BKBs, it only does so much. KS continues to struggle. Really not much farm for a solo mid lone druid. The early pressure on him slowed him down, and then he's had a hard time recovering. He's being outfarmed by Yamateh, who also died quite a few times. But Leshrac with better natural farming potential. Lone Druid farms through items, and without them, not the quickest farmer. And also, without the BKB, he's a little bit afraid to farm aggressively in the lanes. It's only ehwahh who wants to do that, so ehwahh forced to take the more dangerous farm, but it's also the faster farm. I think we're going to see a lot of heroes in buyback now. Queen of Pain, TA, Leshrac, and Bounty Hunter. Probably the 4 most important heroes, along with the Lone Druid and maybe the Panda. And they all do have the buyback at this point. We haven't done an item check in a while, let's do that as well. Pipe has been up on the Tide Hunter for quite a bit. Nothing beyond that. I don't think we've seen a Blink Dagger on him. 1,200 gold. Flash, a little bit afraid of getting picked off, and Orange starting to get to the point where they are as well. Long time before Roshan respawns, a good 4 minutes. And they're going to farm. Manta Style's coming soon on DSF. If he continues to pick up items, he can kind of threaten Yamateh. Oh, Mushi. Will Mushi get the big crits? That's now the question. Who's going to have the better luck? Will there be entangles for the Lone Druid? Will there be the big meld crits for Mushi? That may decide the game, whoever gets them. It's funny that it can come down to something like that, but that's also the beauty of Dota. Flash Esports just really playing the safe. You notice even if they're farming not all in the exact same place, they're staying relatively close together. Orange are a little bit more comfortable spreading out because Yamateh's got a BKB, and there's only one way to deal with that, and that's an entangle, and they know where the Lone Druid is, so he can split push, which means that Orange can control the creep equilibrium better, and they can force TPs back easier. If you're gonna 5-man, then you can't do the same thing. Let's see if Yamateh is actually gonna get caught here. He has backup. Ice is gonna come in. Ice Path, I guess that gives a tiny bit of vision.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And now the turtling begins. Flash just trying to get those items up. I wonder what Queen of Pain's gonna go for. I really think something like a Daedalus. A Daedalus, maybe a Monkey King bar. I think she's got to start getting physical damage items. A Shiva's wouldn't be a bad idea versus Mushi. In fact, that might be a decent option. Maybe a Shiva's. If it's not a Shiva's, though, it should be a damage item. Those are the only 2 items I see him getting, and of course this is after you make sure you save for buyback. Yamateh, not interested in saving for buyback. He's going to get aggressive, and he's going to be a little bit risky. If he dies with a Scythe of Ice, a BKB, and a Bloodstone, with only 5 charges, so he's not going to come back to life quickly, despite having that Bloodstone. It's going to be a long death for him. If he dies, that's the question, though. Will he? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Quite a stalemate. Both teams farming up. I would say neither team has a clear advantage going into the late game. If the Lone Druid gets big enough, he could carry this. If the Queen of Pain gets big enough, she can definitely assist him in doing so. Orange have tons of chain stun, which in longer engagements is going to favor them. But at the same time, Flash has quite a bit of lockdown through the items of the Queen of Pain. And I think if they can pick off any of the supports, or even Mushi, they'd be in great shape. Top lane, this is a hero who is going to get caught. The first one is ehwahh, and he's going to drop! No, he's not. Blinking forward is Ice, but then scythed up by ehwahh. ehwahh even thought about turning that around, I believe. That could cost him blinking away as the Burrow Strike lands. Amazing reactions, but middle lane, it's iceiceice going on to hengkyky. Meanwhile, Mushi finding the solo kill onto the bounty hunter. Must have been a big meld crit. Orange spreading out more, but also finding the kills, and the ones, even when they're not finding them, doing the damage and being the aggressors in this game. Lone Druid getting so close to that Assault Cuirass. Really going to be important versus the Templar Assassin. You need that armor. You need that armor for your team as well. The attack speed's going to help. The attack speed, not only is it going to give you a better chance to entangle, it also allows you to more quickly chew through a fraction to the point where it's not going to do much for Mushi. Oh god. Oh god. God, don't do this to Flash. Don't be so cruel. This is cruel and unusual if you jump in with this and get a couple kills. And Mushi wants to jump. He's got the DD blinking. Panda. Oh, the Ravage does nothing. Fight pretty much over for Flash from the get-go. I can't imagine they're going to turn this around. Maybe they will. I could be wrong, but it's not looking good when you blow your Ravage like that. And the Panda being focused down. Orange running away. Surprisingly defensive considering that there's no Ravage. And Mushi just going to wait this out. Panda ult's going to end soon. Iceiceice could be in a bit of a pickle. Oh, they kill the Earth Panda right as he respawns, so he's happy about that. That's a blunder. Now the Scythe of Ice onto the bear, ending the aggression. How do you whiff a Ravage completely and then defend without any problems? I don't understand my world right now. I don't understand my world. I felt like Orange just weren't aggressive enough there. I really think they could have gotten quite a few kills. At the same time, it is risky. If you lose a fight like that at this point in the game to a bounty hunter, the amount of gold he's going to get for his team, it's going to be rather filthy. This game is starting to get into that ultra late game territory. Once we hit that 55-60 minute mark, then it's not the late game anymore. It's the ultra late game, at which point it's all about buybacks, it's all about Roshan, and it's all about defending your base. Flash cannot afford to just give racks away. They will defend this, but nice job by Mushi. I think this is where Orange really get comfortable. They really shine in these late game situations where you can split push, where you can just kind of make individual decisions in the heat of the moment. And spreading out is going to prevent Flash from getting those big Ravages, which they rely on heavily to win fights. Split Earth, low ground to high ground, not going to connect. hengkyky, Ravage to cooldown in 30 seconds. Flash are biding their time. They definitely don't want to take a fight without it, and Orange has the Panda ult back up. Actually up before the Ravage, so they could maybe try to force something, but not going to. Oh lordy lord. This bounty hunter hitting quite hard there. That crit. That should not a crit for 700. He could be the X factor in these team fights. Chaos is just going to barrel into the middle of it to start things off. With the Assault Cuirass, he's not an easy kill, but Panda is counter-initiating. Iceiceice by himself drives the entire team back of Flash Esports, while meanwhile they pick off the Lone Druid, who does not have buyback. Uh-oh, this is not good. Jakiro, catch out or Kiki rather. Ravage connects beautifully, but where's the follow-up? It's going on to Ice. BKB is forced out. Iceiceice finds a kill on MLG, finds a kill on that support in the end. ehwahh still trying to deal with this Panda ult. Yamateh gets scythed up. ehwahh blinks away, and without enough buybacks, Lone Druid doesn't have one. Tidehunter doesn't have one. Chen doesn't have one. That's probably going to be game. Really kind of a disappointing way for this game to end, to be totally honest. Just such a one-sided fight. But you got to admire the way that Orange played it. Iceiceice, second game in a row where I feel he's made the biggest contribution. He blinks in, and he zones back 4 supports instantly. Well, meanwhile, the Lone Druid just gets focused down by the rest of the Orange team, cut off and caught without buyback because he had just completed that Assault Cuirass. I also have to question, why was he leading the charge there? There's really no reason for Lone Druid to be in the front lines. I don't know if Flash just got frustrated, if there's miscommunication. It should be Bounty Hunter in front, it should be Tide Hunter in front, even the Chen creeps, something else, and now they're down 2 lanes of Rack, so it's really up to Orange to throw at this point, and it doesn't look like they're going to. They're gonna get Roshan, they're gonna get that Aegis of the Immortal, as well as the Cheese Up, and the Gold Graph, the Experience Graph, finally spiraling out of control for them. Aegis on ice, I like this. Mushi's got 9k gold. Busyan Mushi. Busyan. And he should be able to kill them all. Or Ubasyan, as I've also been told. Mushi has a lot of Pinoy fans out there. In fact, that's probably the majority of his Facebook fans, to be totally honest. Buy the Rapier, Mushi. You know you want to, but he's got to save for buyback. Even with buyback. I think he can buy a Rapier and still a buyback. Maybe not quite. It would be fairly close, though. And it would also be quite a treat for us as viewers. Here comes the death push. Here comes the wrecking ball. It's Yamateh with Cheese, with Shiva's guard. It's Ice, who has nothing really. That at least hasn't added anything. Force staff up on Extinct. It's all going to come down to iceiceice, though. Every time he's jumped in, it's won them the fight. And when he jumps in and it doesn't work, he somehow gets away. He hasn't died very much for the level of aggression he's shown. Burrow Strike into the trees by Ice. Doesn't want to blow that Blink Dagger cooldown. Wants to be ready at a moment's notice to epicenter in and then blink on in. And now the tracks start to come. On to Yamateh to start. Hengkyky jumping forward with the Blink, but Yamateh's don't need everyone back. Epicenter in. Doing some good work. Doing some good damage. Yamateh just not sure where he wants to go. Where's Mushi though? Mushi's waiting. He's got a butterfly. That's what he spent his gold on. The team's overextended. Ice possibly dropping down here. Shuriken Tusk will finish him off. Aegis is expended. The Panda ult running out. Orange, really not a great fight for them at all. I just don't... What was Mushi doing? I guess his Blink Dagger was disabled. Still, I think you can just charge in. Really playing it safe. They're up 2 lanes of racks. They still have an Aegis. They still have a Cheese. And the Burrow Strike with some KS. Ravage catching out Mushi. Can they bring him down once? While that Hex is up, look how fast he drops. The Queen of Pain ult is Flash really turning this game around. Unbelievable. 2 heroes dead. Mushi, no buyback, or wait, he does have it, just not using it yet. Gonna see what happens. Extinct the fall. Triple kill for ehwahh. Sensational play. He completed an MKB for this. He spent a ton of gold. Now Ice. 4 heroes dead in a blink of an eye. Flash have turned it around, and it's the ehwahh show. That's what's doing it for them. Iceiceice, the lone survivor. Unfortunately, even getting an ultra kill onto ehwahh, can they actually get out of their base? And I think the answer is probably not. I mean, who's gonna get out? Who's gonna push quickly for these guys? Not your Chen. He can try. He can take over the mega melee creeps, but that's not gonna do too much. Lone Druid is the only, and the Queen of Pain to a lesser extent, they're only powerful pushers at this point in the game. These teams always save their most ridiculous games for them solo casting, I swear. This is where I'm glad that I've been taking it easy with the yelling today. It's my lord. Bounty Hunter picks up a Desolator, goes back for more of a mid-game damage item, but it's something he could buy now. And a Vlad's. I really like this Vlad's. I think that's incredibly important for the Lone Druid in these fights. And I wonder about buying this Butterfly. I'm not sure how much it does for you, because you gotta figure the Hex is coming onto Mushi every fight. Evasion does help quite a bit against Lone Druid, that needs to be said. I almost feel like he already does enough damage, and even just the Lincoln Spear would do more. It's silly. It sounds silly because it's so late. And there's a decent number of single target nukes, but really, if he doesn't get hexed, I don't see them killing him. They don't have that much physical damage. Well, they're starting to with the Queen of Pain, but it's not an overwhelming amount, and there is refraction. Hard to say. Mostly that fight just came down to getting the Hex off of Mushi. Mushi not able to pop his BKB in time, and that was the fight. They get the lanes pushed out, but this is the extent of what they're able to do, and now comes round 2 of the push. If they do it now, they're doing it without an Aegis, they're doing it without a Cheese, and they're doing it, I believe, with Flash having some buybacks. No buybacks for Flash. Never mind. Scratch that. They jump in. They get the pick on iceiceice. Potentially Orchid after the site device, but no one else following up. Blinking in with the Ravage. Don't let him get off that ult. They won't let him get it off. Now Ice jumps in. Ice trying to save his fellow Ice, and they'll both die. Even still, Mushi's pushed this middle lane into the base. Orange getting sloppy here in the mid game or the late game, and it's getting to that point where if you die enough, it doesn't matter how many items you have. It doesn't matter if you should win 5v5 or if you can win 5v5. You gotta be 5v5 to have that opportunity, and they're not right now. They're getting isolated. They're getting picked off. And buybacks have to be what everyone's saving for. Panda did buyback. iceiceice rejoins this game.
Conceal yourselves.
The thing is, they can do that to the Panda, but can they also do it to the Jakiro, or not to the Jakiro, to the Leshrac as well as the Templar Assassin? I'm not sure in a true 5v5 that they really need to lock down a lot of heroes to win these fights, or hit a Ravage when the BKBs are down. Which, the BKBs have low durations. It's a 6 second for him, 5 second for Mushi. So Mushi and yamateh don't have much duration left, and I love the fact that you can't rebuy your BKB, because at this point in the game, if you could rebuy your BKB, life would be so much easier for Orange. I think it makes the late game a lot more interesting. Now you can drop it and buy a new one, but that's a huge gold investment. How much bigger can ehwahh possibly get? He's pretty much capped out. Crystallis, that's how much bigger he can get. Crystallis is how much bigger. One Crystallis bigger, I say. And iceiceice hexed up. Now the hex is on cooldown. Maybe this is the time to jump in. You know that single target lockdown is not available. And if there's ever a moment, this is it. Mushi just critting for 1200 damage, and he's not coming out of meld while he's doing it. He's not having that extra minus armor, or that plus 200 damage either. Blake in, Primo split, and then what next? What next? Now Rax! Now 3 lanes of Rax. They're not really going to focus on the kills here. Just kidding. They are. Mushi turns around, but he gets entangled. BKB going to work. Dying! Dying to the lone druid who is bursting him down. The evasion not helping him really at all there. And the MKB is why. That's why the butterfly not doing anything for him at this point. Ice next in line. They are possibly losing Rax. I'm not sure if they can live through this. Ice next in line. Ravage thrown out. Just a defensive Ravage by hengkyky. Now iceiceice in trouble. Mushi has rejoined this fight. He bought back. He bought Boots of Travel. He rejoins it. And all of a sudden, ehwahh, a second buyback. Just absolute chaos. 3 heroes dead for Orange. 4 for Flash. Ravage expended. Buybacks used by quite a few. Quite a few of the core heroes anyway. Mushi still has 3k. Still has money for another item after that buyback. And that was a buyback into a Boots of Travel as well. So just insanely expensive buyback. Could almost have bought a fresh BKB on top of it. Sight device onto ehwahh, trying to bring him down. His BKB is on cooldown. And he's going to hex up yamateh. He's going to try to man mode this. The Orchid was used as well. hengkyky in the front line. The manly lone druid going to work, but Mushi is tanking it all with the refraction. And the ice path from long range, setting this up. This could be bad. Who's going to drop first? It's ehwahh dropping in. Picks up yamateh. Wants Mushi, but Mushi's going to blink away. ehwahh is just such a fearsome force in this fight. There's the Orchid. Xtinct to TP out. Not able to do so. And he's going to drop in the end. 3 heroes now dead. Mushi's still alive. Who's got the buybacks? Leshrac does. Leshrac can rejoin this. They've still been defending their tier 4s the whole while. Just insanity this game. Absolute insanity. Dear God, do I wish I'd eaten something at any point in the past 10 hours. I'm not gonna lie, I would really like a granola bar right now, or anything in my blood sugar. Oh well, it's a great game, it's totally worth it. You can eat when you're dead, right? That's what they say. I think that's the saying anyway. 3.4k gold up on Mushi, but at this point it's not about your gold anymore. It is all about buybacks, it is all about map control, creep equilibrium, and killing the throne. This might be a good opportunity. Mushi was baiting ice, but not much of a bait. He's probably just, what the hell are you doing, man? I ain't helping you with that. And that's an easy kill. So, now they're going to start pushing out mid, but you can see what Orange want to do. Just get multiple Boots of Travel up, split push.
Just try and find
And maybe avoid these direct confrontations. ehwahh's gonna have a Daedalus. This is about as big as you get in Queen of Pain. Oh, they might get the Mega Creeps now! Mushi does it! Mushi backdoors, then the BKB. Into the TP out. Now Flash have to go all in. There's no point in waiting around. They're not gonna win against Mega Creeps. Not when Orange have buyback, so here they go. 5 heroes down mid, I think.
Dire's middle tower is
Mushi
under
did
attack.
TP out, so he's not available to backdoor, but you can already see he's gonna try and make a beeline. Top lane, no, yamateh is gonna be the one to do it. It's a bit of a base race, but it's gonna be real hard to base race against Orange. When you're down Mega Creeps, you have a Chen defending the base against them. Just a disgustingly farmed yamateh. DSF eating the ice pass, and they also have a lot of stalling potential with all their stuns. This is not looking good. yamateh brings that 1 tier 4. The big fight breaks out. DSF running. Mushi picks him off over the top, jams it in onto MLG. MLG will fall towards the throne. No surviving. The buyback from DSF wants to keep his Chen alive. Meanwhile, Chaos on the other side of the map where Ravage is not going to hit too much. It hits a few heroes, but not really doing enough is what I mean to say. Queen of Pain throwing out the ult. Mushi with the BKB. Mushi surviving. In the base, the Leshrac goes down. yamateh dies. They defend the tier 4. Unbelievable. Now ehwahh trying to win this game by himself. Can he do it? Not with that ice pass. Not with that 1400 damage crit. Mushi, 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 Mushi. The Mushi effect. Winning that fight. And in the end, Orange looking like, I think they can go down mid now. Does ehwahh have buyback? It's on cooldown, right? It should be on cooldown. Yeah, on cooldown for a minute. Only a minute. yamateh off back as well while this was happening. Oh, this is just the brute force approach. There's no finesse right at this point. All finesse, all pretense of it is completely gone. Mushi inside of Meld. Look how fast DSF drops. Unbelievable amount of damage onto MLG. The Mushi show, the late game Templar Assassin doing work. GG's from Flash, and it was time. They were out of steam. A 1 hour back and forth yo-yo of a game comes to its end, comes to its painful conclusion for Flash, as they do get 2-0'd by Orange. At times, it did feel like they could turn this around. At times, it felt like they had enough to bring down Mushi, to bring down yamateh, to bring down iceiceice. But in the end, Orange win this one. Not really through superior team fights, but just through sheer force of arms, through sheer force of buybacks. And they take it. It's a 2-0 victory for Orange. So, whew, what a series. What a final game of the day. But let's look at our standings now. Orange is now 3-1, so they're sitting at 4 points, tied with DK. Those are the 2 prohibitive favorites in this group to advance out. Remember, the top 4 teams from each group will advance into the online playoffs, and out of the online playoffs, the top 4 teams from the 8 that get into them move on to the LAN finals. So only one team gets eliminated, and right now with Flash sitting at 1-3 and Tongfu sitting at 1-3, it looks like it's going to be one of those most likely. Again, there's still a few matches to go, but that's how Group B is sitting right now. DK and Orange in a commanding position to take this group as the 1 and 2 seeds. And they've already played each other, and they split those games. So over on Group A, today we saw Evil Geniuses playing... Oh god, can I even remember what the games were at this point? They played MUFC, and that was a 1-1 tie. So EG sitting at 2-2. They're tied with LGD at this point in that group. So IG with the clear edge. EG has to play LGD and IG, so they have the tough games ahead of them. Sequential Gaming and MUFC tied at 1-3 in the basement. Probably the 2 teams that are going to be struggling not to get knocked out of this group. That pretty much covers where we are in the tournament right now. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a treat bringing this game to you guys. And I really need food. I really need rest. It's been a long week. I hope you guys enjoyed the casts. I hope you enjoyed the games. I am LD, for those who aren't familiar with me. If you enjoy my casting, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ldDOTA. All of today's games will be available there. The VODs will be there. And then, of course, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/ldDOTA, facebook.com/ldDOTA if you prefer that. And my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ldDOTA. That pretty much covers